what has really got me interested in learning history is the stories behind objects, the stories behind the people, the stories behind the culture. And that's what makes history interesting. There's any kind of hobby that you have, there's always history behind it. So history is attached to everything in today's world.
I like the idea that the world was not always the way it is today, and that it really was different. People lived differently, they thought differently, and so that means that we also get to make choices, and that the world doesn't have to be the way it is today in the future. So I find it quite empowering.
Indian Education for All, to me, means breaking down barriers. It teaches children to be compassionate. It teaches them how to deal with the world in the future. It teaches them how to deal with other cultures. And kids are getting it. Students are understanding it and realizing that this is a big piece of growing up and getting along.
It really means telling the complete history of Montana and making sure that all Montanans' history is integrated into the general story. In the olden days, what used to happen, a couple things used to happen when you would do history. One is that you would have Indians would only show up early, and then there'd be Indian wars, and then they'd be on reservations, and then that was it. They disappeared. And so what Indian Education for All has really done is shift that narrative so that we know that Montana Indians have been in this place for millennia. We know that they're still here. We know that they're important to every era and every aspect of our history. And so for me, Indian Education for All has really meant telling a more inclusive, whole, and true history of the state.
I think it's really important to implement Indian Education for All in the museum world, because we as a museum world teach the masses about Native American culture, and it's important to bring those two worlds together. Native American history is an oral history, and the scholarly history, or the academic world, theirs is the written word. So bringing those two worlds together and making a good balance is really important. And so museums, I think, play a big role in this. And I work with the museums of Montana all throughout the state, and so this is a important job that I feel is really essential in telling the stories within the communities of their Native American culture.
First of all, I would encourage them to read and reread the Essential Understandings regarding Montana Indians. That's been really a tremendously useful document for me in my learning. I come from St. Louis, Missouri. I didn't know anything when I got here 25 years ago. So the other thing I would say is don't be scared to learn new things. Don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be scared to make some mistakes. You're gonna screw up sometimes. You're gonna say the wrong thing. That is okay.
The advice I would give to start out is to contact the Indian Education for All specialists. They are a wealth of knowledge. They know what they're talking about. They know how to implement this into the classroom, and starting with them, and they will take that fear factor out that many teachers have of teaching somebody else's culture. And a lot of teachers have that anxiety. I know I did have that anxiety of teaching somebody else's culture and not really knowing that much about it. So educating yourself and getting online, looking at the websites. We have some amazing lesson plans that we've developed through the Montana Historical Society. The Indian Education for All through OPI has some just stellar lesson plans, and they're all ready to go. And then understanding the 7 essential understandings and using that as a resource also is very important.